Hey guys, welcome to another Let's Pro Teachers Do. Today I have with me, going through a little bit of a delay on our end, Dan.
Hiya.
Yeah, there's going to be a bit of a delay. It's not the worst delay, but yeah, it's taken me forever to find someone that's in the Star Trek enough to do one of these videos, and Dan just happens to be into Star Trek. Tell people about your history with Star Trek.
Well, my dad was a Trekkie, and his bag was more TOS, but my bag is more. It's more Next Generation,
Yep.
which it looks like we're reading today, which is good because that's the one I'm most familiar
Yep. Well, same with me. For me, it was always the next
with.
gen DS9 Voyager era were my times, what I love the most. And this story here is done by
Yeah.
Brannon Braga, one of the main, the more well-known writers of Next Gen. They're the guys who did Generation and First Contact. So much of the Borg stories were done by them. The series finale was co-written by him. This story here, it's not
So all of the
canon.
good movies and good episodes.
Yeah. They also did a few clunkers,
Yeah.
a few stinkers, but for the most part, this story here is Brannon Braga giving his final Borg story. It's not canon, and
Mm-hmm.
it's different than what we've gotten, but it's an interesting story nonetheless. So, yeah, let's just dive right in, shall we?
Let's go.
As we open up in the 29th century with Locutus. He's the Borg king officially. The Borg have won.
Oh snap!
Yep. But he feels the collective has failed. The collective has failed. We pursue total assimilation of the galaxy. We attained the power to do this, but lost the ability to ask why it was worth doing. And now we are without purpose. Perfection has not been attained. Perhaps individuality was indeed perfection all along. So, in other words, it's the whole idea of what happens when the zombies take over.
And maybe a little bit of Picard is still in there, making him think this.
Perhaps
Uh-huh.
that too, yes. 5 centuries ago, I was the Hive's secret weapon,
Mm-hmm.
not because of what Locutus is to the collective or to the Queen, but because of who I was. Greetings, Captain. And now, after all this time, some small part of Jean-Luc Picard awakens in me, and I know what must be done. As we then go to 500 years ago, as we see him on another planet, and this lady here was that archaeologist woman that he had grown fond of before in the show. Ring any bells?
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
I said this lady here is a archaeologist woman that was a love interest of him in an episode, I believe.
Oh, okay. It's what's her face?
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but oh wait, um,
I don't remember what her name is. She was the one that like Q kidnapped or something.
Vash.
Vash. Okay. How did I forget that one?
Yeah. Now, Vash, haven't you made me enough riches by now? Never enough. Well, this time I won't. The cutest. Jean-Luc, we should return to camp. And the two of them, like, no matter how long it's been, you can always come to find me. I think I know why, and it's not the sex.
Mhm.
Do tell. Because with me, there can never be more than a fling, and that suits you fine. Vosh, it's okay, Jean-Luc. All of us can, both of us can offer. We both have demons, and yours are always calling you. I have to go. I know. So in other words, she was just, and he knows there's no bond between these two.
Mm.
So I understand that point. It's an interesting one, showing that he's so disconnected.
Mm.
As oh, and this woman here is Lieutenant Archer. She's had a history with the Borg assimilating those close to her, which comes into importance later. As he contacts Riker on board the Titan. Um, we'll arrive within the hour. The Titan will be in good hands while I'm away. I apologize for the short notice, Will. You can buy me a drink when it's all over. Captain Riker out. All of our listening stations have become overwhelmed with Borg activity. Starfleet's on basically they got word that the cube are coming here. Now, unlike Picard, where they've been so reduced down to just one cube, the collective and Borg collective here still has a lot more resources. As the Borg Queen says, we seek Locutus of Borg. Sir, all communication is blocked and we have incoming warp signatures, a lot of them. We seek the one you call Jean-Luc Picard. Oh, crap!
Uh-oh.
Of course, the right to activate. We come in peace. Sir, the Borg fleet has dropped the shields. Their weapons are powered down. This is our chance. Open fire. Wait. This is different. Look at their ship. They're damaged. I can hear the collective. They're afraid. This man was once one of them. We're going to listen to him now. I trust Picard with the lives of everyone on this planet. Besides, we have the upper hand, Admiral. And how's that? We have the one thing they want. So let's hear the lady out. This is Jean-Luc Picard. Why are you here? Locutus, Jean-Luc, we require your assistance. There is a new threat we both share, one that will annihilate us all unless we work together. The collective was experimenting with interdimensional travel. In order to find new biological and technological distinctiveness, we traveled to other parallel and non-parallel worlds. It was there that we discovered species 1881, the Voldranai, rulers of a realm of chaos. Our attempts to assimilate them failed. Their biology was too complex. We had no choice but to retreat, and they followed us back. Back to this dimension, they intend to purge this universe of all other species. Paranoid someone will enter their domain and attack them again. We were no match for them. Their vessels were armed with technology beyond our comprehension. As we speak, they are tearing our galaxy apart, ripping at the very fabric of space and time. Their goal is to render our universe like their own. Perfect chaos. The Volg and Draenei are at the edge of the Alpha Quadrant. As your own deep space probe and stations will confirm, it's only a matter of time. What do you want from me? We know of no more formidable opponent than you, Jean-Luc Picard, Locutus of Borg, you and your species. Only by joining forces can both the collective and the Federation survive. And if we agree to this truce, tell me how you intend to work together, hive mind and humans. We will send an ambassador. 7 of 9. Turns out we find out she reintegrated as a sleeper cell, a double agent.
Mm.
And of course, 500 years later, greetings, Captain. How is it that I am here? A copy of your positronic matrix was stored in our hive mind. I've reconstructed you. Why? Because I cannot do this alone. I need your help, Data. Now, this is all post-Nemesis.
Mm.
So this is the B4 Data. Much like the Star Trek 09 prequel comic, it's made clear that Data was recoverable. Picard would disregard that, of course, but this was still going with that notion that Data could come back.
Mm.
To what end, Captain? It involves myself in the distant past, Jean-Luc Picard before he was assimilated. I hope he's strong enough to do what must be done. I remember him enough to know that he will resist. For the sake of all life in the galaxy, let's hope he does not. So basically we find out about, all the other species being attacked and devastated. I am Locutus of Borg. Basically, he's starting to actually institute self-destruction on them. He's bringing down the Borg in the future. And then we find out Seven has become a loyal drone agent in this future. Locutus, 7 of 9. 503 years earlier, right when Voyager got back. Welcome home, Anika. You are Jean-Luc Picard, but you know me as Locutus of Borg. It's been difficult to bond with others ever since my time with the Borg. My crew, my friends, mean everything to me. But even now, my closest bonds are with machines, my ship, and an android known as Data. Referencing stuff from the movies. How he seemed to be closer to Data in those movies. You are conflicted. I understand. You despise what the collective did to you, yet you still yearn for the hive mind, for perfection. They must be destroyed, Jean-Luc. I know. I'd like you to help me spearhead an operation to do just that. Covert mission to infiltrate the Borg. Find a weakness. Something the Queen won't realize and wasn't realize. Exploit it. And tear them apart from the inside out. How can I be of assistance? Basically, find out how she will volunteer and use a means to, to disconnect herself from the collective and be in communication. 7 of 9, Locutus. Mr. LaForge, the filter's active. 7, Anika. I'm both connected to the hive mind and my own. I can hear them, but they cannot hear me. Report. The Queen is unaware that I've infiltrated the collective. And this new threat, the Voldranai, are we to believe the Borg? I was there when their warship tore through the Queen's armada. Millions of drones were wiped out in seconds. The threat is real. The Queen believes only you and she together can stop them. I'm here as an advisor and to update your weapon in preparation. The entire fleet's been deployed, Captain. They're on high alert and waiting further orders. I've been studying the Borg's intel on Voldranai technology. I don't see how we match their firepower. Not to mention, we have no idea how many ships they've got in our armada. Then we must find a biological weakness to exploit. Has Mr. Worf assembled his assault team? He has. A team of Masadi, Vulcan, and commandos. They'll be ready to beam aboard a Voldranai ship the second we're in range. Tell Worf we'll need bioscans, detailed ones. So they make their way there. Big attack, big fight. Boom. Look at the Borg ships next to ours. Never saw I see the day. I know this can't be easy for you, Kira. This isn't the revenge I had in mind after my brother was assimilated. 7 of 9 can be trusted, Lieutenant Archer. Once a Borg, always a Borg. Captain, massive readings directly ahead. And there, Kira, lock onto that vessel. So they all start, working together. As we have the hazard team going on board. Hazard team is ready. Good luck, Mr. Worf. And you, Captain. Now! As they're flying through, Worf to Enterprise. Bioscanners deploy. 7, we have a DNA lock. The Voldranai helix has been spliced in several locations. I'm finding traces of dozens of different species. Sir, they've been engineered using Borg nanoprobes. In other words, it's a hoax!
Hmm?
The entire Voldranai, it's a hoax!
Yep.
And then turns out the Queen knew about 7 stuff and infiltrates a different protocol, causing her to be under the Queen's control. Meanwhile, in the future, Data and Picard kill 7 in the future. As they realize they need to keep going forward. As we find out that, things are getting worse in the future. In the past. 7, Anika, I knew it. Captain, and basically, 7's completely under their control. As it turns out, the whole thing was a trap. And it worked. All the shields are lowering thanks to 7. The ships are being devastated. My men are dead, sir. Today is a good day to stow it. We're bringing you, Riker, Picard, stow it. We're beaming you back now. Come on, that's funny, isn't it? Today is a good day to stow it.
No, no.
But yeah, they're putting up a fight until they're able to get back control of her, stunning her, knocking her out. Of course, Archer, Jean-Luc Picard. So good to see you one last time. Blunt assimilation proved to be a futile tactic against the Federation. Your species is too cunning, too formidable an opponent. The Titan crew has been transported aboard, so we tried a more deceitful approach, much like your own. Now surrender. So in other words, they used the human tactics against them.
Yeah.
Captain. As we then see now, we're about to have Locutus and Data versus the Borg Queen. And what the hell? What are your thoughts?
What is going on here?
It's her battle mode as they're fighting it up. Meanwhile, Jean-Luc, can you hear me? Turns out they're all in sick bay. And it looks like the Borg have taken Beta Z and all of Cardassia, and they're heading towards Vulcan. This is their big push.
Well, they can have Cardassia, honestly.
Yep. Oh, I love this. What about our fleet? What's left of it? What left of it is scattered. We were able to escape. It's only a matter of time before the Queen traces our work signature. She wants you, Jean-Luc. She won't rest until you're by her side. You do have that effect on women. Of course, they realized about what happened with Seven. Archer says we should terminate her now. Of course, it's like, no, she's been disconnected, definitely. So they're trying to figure out a way of handling this. They still need her. She is. They assume they rely too much on Seven being their ace when the Queen. It was so obvious the Queen could take care of everything. Now, of course, they're near the Typhon Expanse. That's the area where they kept having that time loop happen with that ship that had Kelsey Grammer as a captain on board, where they just kept in that infinite loop.
I remember.
Yeah, they're near that. All of a sudden, they're seeing that happening. Meanwhile, the Queen has killed Locutus, but then while distracted, Data kills her, and then it turns out they're right there by in that area, so, and basically using a chance for Data to go back in time through the expanse. Data, as we're then seeing what could have happened in that moment. Welcome back, my counterpart, my Borg King. I am Locutus of Borg. Data, greetings, Captain. We have a lot of catching up to do. 500 years, 8 months, 4 days, 16 hours, 27 minutes to be exact. As he explained everything, the Borg assimilated the Daystrom Institute. Locutus knew my positron matrix was inside the B4 prototype, so was able to retrieve, well, my brain. My future self, Locutus, killed the Queen and rebuilt you, then sent you back in time. Locutus knew you would take the Enterprise into the Typhon Expanse on this exact date. Its temporal properties made it possible for me to cross over to this time frame. Why did I send you, Data? To help you destroy the Borg. Locutus programmed a weaponized nanovirus into my neural net. Once injected. So in other words, this is Endgame from Voyager Part 2, but this time with Picard and Janeway's role. But in this case, they really need a reason to do it. It's not just a case of stay in the Delta Quadrant or defeat the Borg. It's a case of you have to defeat the Borg.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're ready to do this as they realize this is just the worst for them. Of course, Archer doesn't buy any of this. But basically they feel like they will upload the virus into the Borg implants. He must become Locutus once more. But they were like, there has to be another way. Which they figure out with Seven. Basically, she still feels that collectiveness, the sound of the Hive. It's kind of like an addiction for a former Borg. So they head over to the Borg's main ship as they're going to go inside, transport, make it seem like he's going to give himself up to her. Meanwhile, of course, the Borg are ready to betray them, obviously. I won't fight you anymore. I belong here among the many who are one. With you. A shame it took the loss of so many for you to realize this, Locutus. So many more could have joined us in perfection, their biological and technological distinctiveness added to our own. But I'm here now. I tell you resistance is futile, but you know this by now. But then it turns out and Seven is there with him through the filters as they start to they put in the virus. It's starting to wipe out everyone. Locutus sends his regards. But they're trying to then disconnect as many people, trying to save as many people. Of course, Data, he no longer exists, so he's disappearing. Captain, we
Mm-hmm.
gotta get you off the ship. We need a few more minutes, Will. We need to save as many as we can. Save them. The hell you will! Archer, I won't let you do it. Stand down, Lieutenant. I've interfaced with the collective. I'm using the filter to protect as many drones as I can from the nanovirus. 30 drones are now free from the Hive. 48, 300. I must save more of them. Enterprise, tell the rescue ships to start scanning for Borg survivors. Enterprise, you have to listen to me. You have a chance to end the greatest scourge the galaxy has ever known. I can't leave, and you can't leave any of them alive. Not one. Sing about the loss and the people you lost, Kira. They were all victims. If we could save just a few of them, we have to take that chance. No, you can't. They'll take over. They'll assimilate us. And don't you see? They'll kill us all. They have to die. She's firing torpedoes, damaging the ship, giving them less time. Take her to the brig. We have to get out of here. I could save more. There's no time. I can save more. And Will, get us out of here. And unfortunately, Seven is dying. How many? Rescue efforts are still underway, but we estimate you saved thousands. I didn't do enough. You did so much. I could have gotten more. There are thousands of people alive because of you. Captain, promise me. What, Seven? You will always live in between, but promise me you will aspire to live. I promise. She's gone.
Mm-hmm.
When the dust cleared, over 5,000 Borg survivors were rescued in a massive Starfleet relief effort. They'll be given a place all of their own, a peaceful colony where the survivors can recover. They will never know their savior, their benevolent queen, but she will continue to inspire them to keep going, to keep living. She inspires me every day. I shall visit here often, this new world. After all, I am one of them. Set a course for the Data Storm Institute. Time to visit an old friend. But for the moment, I am alone with my thoughts. The end.
Mm.
So, how was that?
That was nice. I like that.
How does it compare to Picard Season 3?
Oof. That's a toughie.
I say Picard Season 3 was a better story.
It was,
This was a
it
good
was
what
better.
if. This was a good what if.
That I think that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Picard season 3 was pretty good. So
it was. And a great send off for the Borg. And it showed that Janeway stuff had a much more devastating effect than this. But the Borg's plan here was ingenious.
It was.
Basically, because it felt like they were thinking like Picard would, which you wouldn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like Seven dying, but it made sense for the story.
Well, yeah.
What did you like best about the story?
I like that little plan where Picard or Locutus sent Data back in time to prevent all of this from happening.
Yeah. I
think that was.
I mean, it is Janeway, future Janeway part 2, but done better, I think, because that felt so rushed for the ending. It was an epic ending, but still a rushed ending. But
I didn't think it was rushed, but
okay, not rushed. But if they were going to end I think they initially planned to end the Borg there, it was rushed. If Voyager was to have been the last Borg story, it was rushed.
Okay. I
That's
mean,
what
I'll
I
give
meant.
you.
But it felt like they decided to do over, but give it to Picard this time as opposed to Janeway, because Picard's the one who should have taken them down. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, Janeway had just as much of a reason.
You're right. But and having Seven involved made sense. But again, her just so quick to go back to the Borg, even as a sleeper cell. I'm not happy with that. That just felt too much like a lot of her characterization. Just it worked, but it
Yeah,
didn't work. It worked, but didn't work.
yeah. I wasn't sure how I felt about that because, like, I was like, no, she'd never do that. Like, not even as a sleeper cell, she would never do that. But she did.
Exactly. But for the sake of the story, again, it works. That's why I look at it as it's
Mhm.
like a what if. This was a nice what if. It was Brannon Braga's giving his send off. Would this have worked as a big finale story compared to Picard season 3? No. This too much destruction, too much needless destruction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the Borg's master plan, it was brilliant, but then we find out Vulcans attack, Cardassia, Beta Z. It's like, and all those off screen, it's like,
Mhm.
ugh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, they can have Cardassia. I don't care.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but again, just I would personally give, and I thought the artwork was good, decent as well.
The
There were some
artwork was
moments where,
great.
yeah, the artwork was great.
Everybody actually looked like they were supposed to. So.
Some weird facial expressions, like Seven, that hologram of Seven at the very end looked weird, like that or something like that. It was like, what a weird face, but for the most part, it looked good. And again, for Brannon Braga's final Borg story, I think it suits him. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, nice little story. This video, by the way, I should point out, will be my 251st video after my 250, which I haven't done yet, but this will be airing after that. But yeah, now eventually, not tonight, but eventually you and I are going to go over the Star Trek Next Generation Mirror comics, the Mirror Universe. Yeah, yep. And those ones, unlike
Does
this
Picard
one,
have a goatee?
yes.
Does Picard have a goatee? Ah, yes, yes.
Yes,
Wouldn't
he
have been a
does.
mirror universe if somebody didn't have a goatee.
Actually, hold on. I'll show you. Aha.
Villains twirling their mustaches are easy to spot. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
He has a goatee, and look how thick this is. We got a couple of stories to go through for this one. And this is just the first omnibus, and then there's the 8 issue plus a bunch of tie-ins, Mirror War.
Oh.
But
and is that Data as a Borg again?
no. This is just mirror data, but he has Borg stuff tied into him. But yeah, basically, and this is canon. This is official canon.
All right.
Yeah, this basically IDW now does canon stories, and this was made to fit in the canon. Even when we do when they do the Mirror War, they actually find a way to fit it in between the stuff with the DS9 mirror stuff. And yes, believe it or not, most of the story takes place in the Mirror Universe. There's going to be some cases where they interact with the main line, and in fact, like the last of the minis in this book mostly takes place in the main universe. But it is important to what comes later on. But yeah, and now that we also see how what happened with the Mirror Spock. We found out what happened to him afterwards, and yeah. Oh, you want to see how Mirror Troy looks like?
I can't really see anything. There's too much glare. Oh, well. Huh.
What do you expect, right? What do you expect, right? Oh yeah, and there's Data, by the way. You can see the Borg fixtures on him.
Yeah.
Yep, but believe it or not, you know what ends up who comes a big badass in the Mirror Universe? Barkley.
Well, I mean, it is the mirror universe. Everything is supposed to be backwards. So,
Yep. But we'll go over this next time. All right. We'll see you
all right.
guys on the next one. Take care.
Later.